Okay. What's good, y'all? Shout out to Notification Gang for hitting the like button. And the video didn't even start yet. Y'all are the realest ones in it. I appreciate you anyway. Yeah, man. So, you know, if you've seen the other video I've done on this topic, I really wasn't planning on doing the full breakdown of this. I think this thing is like 10 or 12 minutes long. I wasn't planning on doing it, but the other video I just left with such a eyebrows raiser. I was just like, what did I just hear? What am I listening to here? So let's get into it, y'all. We're gonna be here for a while, so y'all make sure y'all prepare. I'm sure you can already see how long the video is, so it don't matter. Excuse me. Yeah, so this is if you haven't seen the other one, if you haven't seen the other video, I'll make sure to put the ad at the top, and I'll also make sure to put the link in the description. But this is what I was saying, right? At the beginning of the other video I did about Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons steps down from companies. So when everything was going on as far as him being accused of allegedly doing all these things to these women, the first thing he did was he stepped down, he sold everything, jumped ship, got his first flight out the goddamn country. And you know, people were saying, oh, he's guilty because, you know, why would an innocent person do that? But on the other side of the token, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, but why would he want to go through it, even if he was innocent? Y'all seen what happened with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's name got dragged through the mud for years, only to find out that this dude was innocent, number one. But number two, women still think that Johnny Depp has committed all these crazy activities. Even with the pictures, even with the videos, even with the witnesses. People still drug Johnny Depp's name through the mud. Still, as of right now, his name has been dragged through the mud. It's similar to getting a lawsuit, and it's just like, damn, bro, do I want to deal with this lawsuit for the next 2-3 years? Or do I just want to pay out $5,000 and get this crap over with and done with? $5,000 now, that way you can't say anything else about it from now on, or pay $500,000 within a span of 3 years, only to finally prove myself as being innocent. It's like, bro, which one do you want to take? But let's go. Let's get into it.
This morning, music mogul Russell Simmons stepping away from his businesses.
Russell Simmons, now the latest big name, left to defend himself.
9 women accused Simmons of a wide range of misconduct, from vulgar language to assault to 4 instances of rape.
What did he do? He raped me right up against the wall. Excuse my language. But that's what he did, and I had to keep this secret.
He showed up, naked, wearing a condom, and tackled me to his bed while I screamed and fought and said no and cried. That's rape.
If the allegations are not true, why would all these women accuse you?
I heard someone else say this, you know, that I was quite frivolous. Look, there's a song by Houdini, I'm a hoe, you know, I'm a hoe. 3 different girls after every show. Culturally, we thought that was the right way. And the number of sexual partners and compromising positions I put myself in is beyond anybody's imagination.
You said you had more foursomes than most men have partners.
Yeah, you know, and that wasn't really, I think it was cultural and silly and egotistic and sad and from an insecurity that feeds it, and a lot of reasons why we were that way. If you slept with as many people as I slept with, thousands, and we're talking about 6 people.
There were like 20, right? I mean, that range from
I spoke
assault
poorly. Oh, you mean
rape
that's not, no, yeah. I spoke poorly to 15 of them. I mean, 12 of them. I spoke poorly all the time. I'm a Def Comedy Jam guy. I was crude. So how many compromising situations was I in? And if you call that person and say, can you help me help these other women, then you can get them to tell a story and reimagine a story. And I'm not here to say what they were thinking, but I can simply tell you that I was in so many compromising situations that people can have a recollection from 30 or 40 years ago. And it can be different from my recollection. And it could be one where there was perhaps collaboration. If we had more foursomes than most guys had once, could someone leave and feel hurt? Could someone leave and feel they wish they hadn't?
Yeah, I love what he said, right? And this is probably the result of him going through everything he's doing. I'm hearing that he's doing like meditations, a lot of therapy, mental therapies, and stuff like that to go through it. Because what I'm gathering from so far is that he has a certain level of self-awareness of everything that's been going on, right? And I have to give him that. And it's the same thing with me. Me going from high school, right, sleeping around with different chicks, right? It was a completely different level when I got to college. Completely different level. I'm talking about. First of all, I didn't sleep with nowhere near as many women as this dude did. This guy is way leagues above me. My body count, I'm not gonna say it, but my body count is nowhere near his damn body count. This man said tens of thousands. That's crazy. When I got to college, it was the same thing, and it was just like he said. Maybe it was an ego thing. Maybe it was like the culture, was forcing us, or not really forcing us, but was making it seem like, okay, this is the definition of being a man. I always thought that, okay, being a man was having a certain amount of women on your shoulder, on your arm, a certain amount of notches of women that you slept with on your belt. Why? I've told y'all before, man, I grew up around uncles who were convicted felons. My uncles did everything from A to Z. Everything from A to Z. And every time I used to see my uncle, every time I used to spend a weekend at my uncle's house, my uncle was never with the same woman. Never with the same woman. And I used to sit there thinking to myself, yo, I'm gonna be just like my uncle. I'm in elementary, middle school. I'm gonna be just like my uncle when I grow up. I'm gonna be just like my uncle when I grow up. And then when I finally grew up, by the time I hit 25, 27, I started realizing, I'm like, bro, I don't need to be every damn girl I see. I need to have some type of sexual relationship with her. I've told y'all this multiple times, yo, majority of the women that, majority of my friends are females, number one. And then majority of my female friends I've had some type of sexual interaction with. Number two. So I get where he's coming from a different aspect, from a different level, because I too was in that same boat. It was an ego thing. It was an ego. I had to have these damn women. I had to have all these damn women I was sleeping with. It was mandatory. Yo, y'all don't understand. Back, especially, at high school, yes. But when I was in college, it was just like me or being on steroids or something. I would be in one chick's guts, hitting her from the back, and I'm thinking about the next chick I'm about to smash. I will be sleeping with this girl, take a shower, do what I gotta do, and then drive to another damn chick's house. And it wasn't until I got older that I started realizing, I'm like, why am I even doing this? Why do I have to have all these damn females? I'm over here texting 8 to 10 different chicks, 9, 10 different chicks at a time, telling all of them, oh yeah, hey man, listen, I can't wait to see you. I'm trying to get at that. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Blah, 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 blah. And I had to sit down and, again, just like him, have some type of self-awareness and be like, yo, why do I need to have all these women around me to feel like a man? I don't need all these women. There was a saying, I believe it was from the Bible, that said, when I was a boy, I did boyish things. When I became a man, I let go of my boyish ways, or something like that. And that was one of them. You no longer need, or I no longer need, to have some type of sexual altercation with 3, 5, 10, 15 different goddamn girls in 1 week. There was times I was sleeping with 3 to 4 different women in one damn day. And I'm ashamed, but I'm not ashamed to say it, because it made me the person who I am. And that's the reason why when I talk to these boys and I have these types of conversations, I let these boys know and understand it from different aspects, not just from the red pill. So I don't claim to be red pill, but from the red pill side, because there's a lot of things, I would say 70, 80% of things that the red pills do and say that I personally do not agree with. I told y'all boys over and over again, yo, listen, bro, if y'all boys trying to cross this bridge, I'm telling y'all right now, it's not the thing to do. It's not what it's cracked up to be. It's not what it's all seemed to be. But let's keep going.
Could someone reimagine a story out of thousands of people? Could someone want notoriety in a market where people thirst for fame?
Yes.
Even infamous. Could someone who just came out of jail and want to sue you because they had an experience and they can reimagine it just a little bit different? And could you be vulnerable enough to accept it? I took 9 lie detector tests. People don't know that. 9 separate. 7 from the chairman of the Polygraph Association. 1 for each of the serious accusations. One footage, when someone said, for instance, I was violent, one person said that. I've never been violent, took that. And one for I apologized. I never apologized about assaulting anyone. But if two people say it, because one said it and me too, and the second person said it, then I took a test for it. 3 hours per test by 2 polygraph examiners. One that I've never done this to anyone and one I've never done to each individual. Some people say that they're not accurate, but if they're 94% accurate, I did 9 of them. It's pretty clear that I don't believe it. I even asked well, what if I believe it, but it's not true? He said, your subconscious will get you. I don't know how true that is, but that's what was told to me by the chairman of the Polygraph Association. He was filmed, by the way, talking about this, so there's footage available. No one in the mainstream would cover that.
Why do you think that is?
There's a narrative.
Which is what?
That we don't want to go backwards. We want to believe with it. But women and celebrities may be in some cases a little different. But we don't want to not believe women. We have to believe women. We have to give them the benefit of the doubt, but we can't demonize people without proof either.
Excellent point, sir. Excellent point. When it comes to men and women, you should be able to believe women, but it's different when you're saying women and celebrities, because there's always a bag with these types of situations. And he ended it on a perfect. I stopped it on a perfect note. It's monetary gains here. That's what for whatever reason we are failing to realize. A lot of them are doing these things, and then, oh, okay, well, you allegedly did ABC 1, 2, 3, but I'll drop it if you give me X amount of money. No, where's the proof? What did he just say? You're doing all of this stuff, demonizing these damn people, lacking thereof some sort of proof, evidence. Where is this? We're just supposed to believe it all on a whim just because it came out your goddamn mouth? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't, because we should, but to a degree. Because like I've always said, in almost all of these cases, what can you do, fellas, ladies too, but fellas, more importantly, fellas, what can you do, right? Let's say you my age, you 30 years old. You was messing with some chick when you was in high school, 15, 16 years old. That was 15 years ago. Oh, well, me and him did ABC 1, 2, 3, and I didn't feel like it was consensual. Now it's your turn. Well, we did do ABC 1, 2, 3, and it was all consensual. Hell, she was the one who told me to come in and let's do it. Or it could be a situation where it's like, yo, no, I've never done anything sexual with this woman. I've never even seen this woman before. Who do you believe? Nobody has evidence. It's her word versus his word. Now here you are, spending X amount of time trying to prove your innocence, if not in damn prison. For what? Think about the Travis Rudolph and what's her name? Dominique, whatever her goddamn name is. Where she called the police. Where she called her brother, and had her brother's homie drive to her boyfriend's house and jump him because she lied saying, oh, he put hands on me. Come to find out, she lied about everything. Picture that, but amplified. What happened if she would have called the police and said, oh, he beat me up. Oh, he forced me sexually to do ABC 1, 2, 3. This man would have spent years in prison. Thank God this man was able to get a great lawyer to be able to prove his damn innocence. Thank God. Let's keep going.
Twitter cannot make a decision. I've never spoken to a policeman. I've never spoken to a judge about anything. So who's the judge and the jury here? Maybe you haven't lived in the real world. It's gray. No one's intentionally hurt anybody. It's a big difference. No one pushed anybody in. Being pushy is different from pushing someone. It's very gray.
Rape is a strong allegation in some of these stories, or that you pinned women down. I mean, like bad stuff, either happened or it didn't, right?
Yeah, it's a serious word, but I think they've changed the meaning.
How so?
Because I've never been violent to anybody. The rape is a violent crime. So it isn't very serious. Somebody jumps out of bushes and rapes somebody, it's different, I think. So it's a different kind of recollection. I mean, so I don't think anybody's saying I'm violent. Of course, I've been insensitive, but certainly I've never been forceful in any of my relationships. All of what I've had has been consensual.
What errors in judgment do you think you made, looking back?
Thank goodness. You know, we all need to learn to be better listeners, all of us. I think that the culture and the climate was different, and the way people interacted was different. And I think to judge 40 years ago as if it was today, we get in trouble. We have to accept where we were and move on and be somewhere else in the future if we don't like where we were. And I think that we're doing that now. And I think that's the good that comes from me too. And, you know, I think this next generation should be more sensitive, and we should have a new way forward. And this is helping us to form a new way forward. It's a great movement. It's done a lot of great work for women. It's sensitized men in ways they were not sensitized. And for that, I'm grateful.
If you had...
Before he asks the next question, yes. I've told y'all this multiple times, man. I remember when the Me Too movement first came out, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe I did a video on it. Probably like one of my old videos, probably like my first 20 or 30 video. If I remember, I put the eye at the top or put the link in the description. If I remember, y'all, if I remember, I'll put that so y'all can go ahead and watch that and then come back to this whenever you got time. But I basically said I thought the Me Too movement was great, but now it's being spun. I think, yeah, spun, right? The past tense of goddamn spin to this whole new different thing where like you cancel them, like the whole smear campaign, all these things. And it's just like, you know, I forgot about the monetary gains, right? They want to sue for a couple mil. Okay, cool. Now you're good. If something like this happens, you have to have proof, right? And again, like I said, I'm not saying that Russell Simmons is innocent. I'm not saying that Russell Simmons is guilty. I'm not saying none of that. If you would have asked me, honestly, you know, I would probably bet my money on the woman was telling the truth. But that's the topic for another day. My whole thing about it is this. You should not be allowed, anybody, man, woman, children, I don't give a damn. You should not be allowed to say these types of things about anybody without any proof. Everyone should be able to have a fair day or fair way to prove themselves as far as being innocent or guilty. You should not just be able to say whatever comes out your goddamn mouth and then it is what it is. Oh, that's your word and the word is bond. No, that's no. Because we have seen time and time again, you know, not just women, but women more importantly, come out here and lie about the things that happen. Y'all seen what happened with Chris Brown. It's a perfect example. Imagine if Chris Brown would have never released them text messages from that same goddamn woman. Imagine. Just imagine what would have happened if Chris Brown would have never released some text messages. To this day, Chris Brown would have been arrested right now, locked up. Probably would have been since, because it's been I want to say 2 years since that came out. But yeah, just imagine. Chris Brown was innocent. She was the aggressor. She was the one saying, hey, yo, listen, I'm trying to get more drugs. Chris Brown was like, yo, listen, I'm not really that guy that has those drugs. I'm just around the people that have them. But if I'm around him and I'll make sure to ask him to give me some so I can give it to you. She said, oh, he drugged my drinks. He did this. He forced me to do these damn drugs. She said also he forced her to do these sexual things. To the point where she was texting Chris Brown saying, yo, listen, like, oh my God, I finally was able to have sex with you. What you did let to me last night was amazing. Oh my God, I cannot wait can we do it again, please? I'll do anything. Where you at? Let me know. Da da da. Chasing this man down, tracking him, hunting this man down, just so she can get round two. And when he curved her, blocked her, whatever else crap that he damn did, now all of a sudden this, oh, well, he forced me to do all these things. No, it needs to stop. You ladies, men too, but ladies, you are not allowed, or you should not be allowed just to say whatever and then that it is what it is without no type of proof. No, forget that. With that being said, I am very, very happy, just like he said, the Me Too movement has helped sensitize men as far as the things that they say and do to women. And I stand with that 100%, point blank. I'm going to stand with that. But at the end of the day, from a man's perspective and male and female's perspective, from a male's perspective, we should be able to prove ourselves as innocent, as fairly as you're trying to paint me as being guilty. Let's keep going.
A do-over with that period. What do you think you would do differently?
A lot, but I don't have a do-over. This is the thing about practicing, being here now, and accepting what you learned and move forward. We can't do over. I haven't spoken to anybody for 5 years. It's ruined my life. It's ruined my relationship with a lot of everything. All my 5 charities have gone down. I had a lot of work. I had a lot of people I was trying to help. I had a lot of things I was doing. And I've been locked out of it. I don't want this to be the trigger to turn everything around again.
At some point, somebody's going to ask you about this, so why not do it in a controlled environment where
In the
you give
control,
your
are you
thoughts?
going to Graham?
No.
All right,
So,
well, let's go.
Explain why November 23 is an important month for you.
Oh, well, you know, they've had a year, the accusers, to sue me, and I haven't been sued. But I kind of believe that a lot of stuff's been the media. First of all, 40-year-old stories are quite, you know, quite hard to prove, I guess, but in civil suits, maybe not.
And that's the problem. Civil suits and versus, and you know, listen, a 40-year lawsuit, something that happened 40 years ago, is insane. Proving something that happened a year ago, and to some cases, it's hard to do, let alone 5, 10 years ago. Again, like I said, I just said this, I'm 30 years old. What would have happened if whatever chick that I messed with in high school 15 years ago now comes out to say ABC 1, 2, 3? How can I prove myself with something like that? Now picture that and multiply by 2, damn, almost 3, because it's 40. How do you prove something like that? It's just like, how in the hell, like what?
But they're 40-year-old stories, but they've been covered by the media. But I can't speculate as to why I haven't been sued. But you know, we're talking about 6 serious accusations.
What did you think of the doc?
I didn't watch it.
Why not?
Because it's not true. And I think that Oprah said the stories don't add up.
Oprah also came out and said she believed the women.
I stand in support of these women. I believe them. It was a hard decision because I knew that Russell Simmons had started publicly pressuring me, and that me pulling out of the documentary was going to look like I was being pressured.
How do you square the two?
Well, her
in
saying,
terms of
she said she believed women, but if you want to call Oprah, I can give you her number. She made a movie about some women, and then made it very public that she was making the movie and that she made the movie, and then she walked away. She has not come back in support. Isn't she a supporter of black women or not? You should call her. She will not defend those women. Those are black women that she said she supported. She will not defend them. She cried on the phone to multiple witnesses that she didn't even know, because she learned that hurt people, and that her stories, as an investigative journalist herself, she knows those stories should never have been printed, much less made a movie about.
what conversations did you and Oprah have during that process?
Well, the first thing I called her and I said, I'm glad it's you making the movie, because people rush to judgment, and you're a reporter. I said, well, have you spoken to anybody who was there at the time or around that time? And then she called them. She studied them. She read their books. And then that's caused her to walk away from the movie.
What she had said, just to be clear, on like CBS this morning, was that she felt more time was needed, and
to make a whole
the
documentary, not about me.
wouldn't.
She said to change it. She said to change the whole thing. Is what she told me. She told him she wanted to change the entire thing to a documentary about men in general, about the whole music industry, and that I couldn't be a subject anymore because she had found too much contradictory evidence about the stories about me. That's what she told him. And that's what you could ask her that. Everybody she interviewed, she taped. She taped about 20 witnesses. Those tapes are available. If you're investigating this, maybe you should dig into those tapes. I don't want to go far into this discussion because it is a very sad moment. It was the most traumatizing experience in my entire life. It hurt my children. There are people with 40 accusations you'd be interviewing right now, and this subject wouldn't come up.
Well,
so
yeah,
I feel a little bit targeted, but please continue.
And I was going to say, to be clear, this is not an investigation. You have not really talked about this before, and so I was merely trying to get your thoughts on
well, I don't want to
this,
sound defensive, but yes, I told my children I would not speak about this.
Yoga, GDOS, and Hip Hop 50 are the 3 remaining topics, and I want to get a little bit with you sitting down about yoga and GDOS, since
You
then
can
we
shape
can...
my life to be a good life and be a servant to God, or you can me up. It really is that, it really is, could be that dramatic. You know, and it's been, because I left, and I spent so much time here, people have assumed that I really left and ran, even though I'm back in America all the time. I'm behind the 8 ball. So I'm not expecting you to put yourself, make it look like you're wrong about anything, or that you're in favor. You have the tools. Please don't.
You have the tools to provide context, and context in any story is everything.
Everything.
Yep. What have the past 5 to 6 years been like for you since 2017?
Well, I've written 4 books. I built a hotel. We have a talent agency that has 300 people working all around the world. And I live in Disneyland, yoga and vegan Disneyland. So God gave me a new lease on life and new things. Also a lot of self-reflection. How can I make that better? How can I be a better person? So I just got to accept that what I've been through is God's way of, refocusing me on being a better servant. These 5 years have been both a gift and a curse.
How's it been a curse?
Well, it's been a curse because I've been demonized in ways that, and I could never defend myself enough. There's no way you can defend yourself. So for me, I have to accept the scar that they've demonized me in ways that I don't see myself, and people who know me don't see. And at the same time, I accept responsibility for having been insensitive. I've been a lot of things. Never intentionally hurt anyone. I know people are hurt, but I didn't intentionally hurt anyone. And I was never told by anyone that such a thing occurred. People will decide whether you are a good or bad person, or bad or innocent or good, by their pain body and their experiences. That's what's going to decide how they feel about you, and you can't change them. And again, I have to live with the scar.
Oprah Winfrey declined to provide comment for this episode. I would love to hear her side of the story, because you're saying, whatever. Let me interpret in this. We reached out to the women who accused Simmons of the R word. 4 responded. Oh, let's go. Andrew Wilson, attorney for Sherry Sher and Lai Abrams. Both Sherry and Lai Abrams have consistently and credibly alleged for years that Russell Simmons R-word them. Their accounts echo the experience of many other women who have made similar allegations against Simmons. Simmons' denial and failure to confront the brutal legacy of what he blithely describes as his lifestyle are shameful. Yeah, man. I mean, my whole thing about that is, now that I was able to see its whole thing in its quote unquote entirety, right? Now I was able to see the whole thing in its entirety. I can honestly say, again, like I said, I think he's done one, if not more, of these alleged allegations, right? I believe he did some of it, and let me make sure I word this correctly. He said something that kind of made me like, wait, what? he was like, yo, well, these are the types of things that we were doing back then. It was the same thing with the Diddy trial. I mean, the whole Diddy situation, right? Where you have like the bodyguards and all these people, the producers that was around him, and a lot of them said the same thing. They was like, oh, well, these were the things that we would do. We would just give random girls pills and then take them to the hotel. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, that's the thing that we did. That was the thing that we did back then. What are you talking about? That's just the way it was back then. Well, back then, it was considered assault. Now it's still considered assault. Sir, what are you talking about? Same thing, Russell Simmons, he's like, oh, well, you know, back then, you know, these are the things that we did. It was a culture. No, bro, it's still considered assault regardless. If she was not able to consciously, first of all, and sober, if she was not conscious and she was not sober enough to say, hey, not enough, but sober, period, to say, hey, listen, I will do it or won't do it, then there's your issue right there. Drew Dixon, I do not wish to revisit this, but I will repeat what I have shared previously named in the 2017 New York Times article on the 2020 documentary. On the record, long before there was an Adult Survivors Act, Russell Simmons, R-word me, he knew that I did not want to have any kind of sexual contact with him whatsoever, so he set a trap as my boss to, you know, oops, my bad, sorry. To sexually A-word me. I have nothing further to say. This is Drew Dixon. I guess is one of the other girls. Well, the third girl, because the first one had two. Alan Worthmeyer, attorney for Jenny Lament. I guess that's the fourth one. Jenny's Lament's November 30th statement speaks for itself, and she has no further comments. I think that may be it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Yeah, you know, yeah, man. I mean, I want y'all to comment down below and let me know what y'all thought about this video, man. I've said everything I need to say. Thanks for watching. And until next time, please, man, be safe for Erica.